Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Welcome to Kaylie Blyton, certified health and wellness coach specialising in integrative nutrition and holistic approach to self-care and stress relief, something we all need. Kaylie works closely with driven women all over the world to teach them how to build a foundation to flourish in life and health. Thank you so much for joining me, Kaylie.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I would love to hear in your own words about your journey, and you've got so much to give, and I'd just love to hear how that started for you, how you ended up here, and how you help people.
Yes, well, my story, my journey started with my own health story, my own health challenge, actually. About 2018, I was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid. And doing as you do, you go to the medical professionals to get the help. But I was sent away because my thyroid wasn't as bad or wasn't bad enough for medication.
Yeah.
And that just sent me off on a bit of a research. I ended up using a naturopath who I still work with today. I saw the benefits of more holistic and natural remedies, so things like your food and your diet, and with a thyroid as well. For those women out there that might have some thyroid issues, you do, if you're one that exercises, you do need to sort of have a look at your type of exercise as well. So I took a big review of my whole life. So basically stepped back, had a look at what I was doing in terms of my eating, my exercise, how I was looking after my mindset. I fell in love with all that holistic wellness, and I decided I wanted to pursue that as a career. So I enrolled to study with the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Now I did that. It was like a full-time study, but the hours were manageable. But I did that alongside my full-time corporate job.
Wow.
Yeah. And graduated in March this year. So just really getting out there and have taken on one client so far, but taken on more clients as well. So
That's amazing. I didn't realize it was so recent.
Yes, I had to think then. It was it was March this year I officially graduated. So technically the studies all wrapped up at the end of last year, but the graduation was in March.
Yes. Of course. Amazing. So what sort of offerings have you got at the moment? I know that you work one-on-one with clients. What else do you provide?
Yeah, so the one-on-one is my main business, and that's the one I love that so much, because I love doing this. Just sitting down with someone, chatting to them, finding out what's going on in their life, and being able to uncover and help them. So basically I act as a guide for you on your health journey. We find what works for you. We set you up with your own wellness plan that you can fall back on. So you can pull that out of your armor. So you have your own little folder all ready for you. Just dip in there whenever you need to. And then I have my membership, which is a new baby. And that is called Flourish. And similar process I go through with my one-on-one clients, whereas I'm finding those simple food and lifestyle habits, ones that are easily to implement. I know for myself, being so busy, as I'm sure many of your beautiful listeners are as well.
Yes.
You don't need to add something else to your agenda. So I like to work with women, whether that be one-on-one or in my membership, in helping you introduce just small habits that you can fit into your day alongside stuff you're already doing anyway. And it's just going to really help you along your journey.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot in society that is burdening to women these days, and we sort of feel like we just keep taking things on believing that it'll be fine until one day we break. And I love that you're here to support women in that way, because I know for myself, even I need to steal moments, and it's so important to incorporate those habits. And I'm sure that you're more of an expert than I am, but even just before this chat, I've had such a busy day in and out with kids stuff and business stuff. I've been on Voxer, I've been on Instagram, and I've done all sorts of things. And I knew that I just needed to stop for a minute and to just have my lunch out in the sun for 10 minutes is just so, healing and rejuvenating. And I'm excited to hear more tips from you, because I certainly could use them. I'm sure that our listeners could too. But I'm interested. This is a little bit of a nosy question. I'm interested to know what you did before you became a health coach. Was health something that you were always interested in?
I've always loved being healthy. I've loved going to the gym. When I was younger, I used to dance.
Oh, lovely.
So, I've always been quite active and never a real sporty person. So I'm not your, the ladies that love to do the netball and all those sorts of sports. I hated PE at school. I really did.
Oh, kindred spirits. I used to make my mum write me notes to get out of sports day in high school.
I used to just have my period all the
time. All the
time.
Convenient.
Well, I still have my corporate job. So
yeah,
I work for public servants. I work for an Australian government agency, and I still have that corporate job.
Yeah,
so I've done that all along. But
so you're a prime example of someone who is juggling a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, and still managing to integrate those habits and self-care routines is, I think, possibly even more inspiring to me, knowing that you're working full-time as well. Like, that's a lot in itself. Plus you have children.
No, I've got a child living in my house.
Sorry.
My niece has a 2.5-year-old baby in the house. So although I'm not mum, it's still, there's still
there's a lot going on in your life. Yeah. And that's sort of the point that I was getting at. But so when you went through your health journey and you decided to do this, like to become a health coach, was it the end goal? Was that always to start your own business in order to help other women going through similar things?
Yes, absolutely.
So
I just saw so much in health coaching, and even for myself going through the studies, I got so much transformation out of it.
Yeah,
it's great for my own health too.
What a beautiful motivation to have right from the very beginning, to sort of, without even having started any of the business stuff, to sort of have that mission to keep you motivated. I think that's wonderful and so important when you are starting a business. Like, it's so easy to give up when things do get hard, or like it's a long rocky road sometimes, like learning everything that goes along with starting a business. And so to have that core motivation is just such a gift, I think. And when you can lock onto that, and as you have done, like you're showing up no matter what, and overcoming those obstacles no matter what. And I love that. So how did you start the business? Was it sort of like, did you ease into it, or did you just sort of know that like this is the right time, or did you start while you were still studying?
Yes, I did start whilst I was still studying, and I was just really sharing my journey and sharing a lot of tips along the way. And then I started promoting the doors are open. I'm taking clients now towards the end of last year. So most of last year was all just getting the awareness out there, making people aware. Because I did have a network marketing business as a little side hustle before. So I needed to take my audience then on a journey of a new direction. So bringing people along that journey as well.
And that's such a lovely thing. Like, I think that's such an authentic way to start building your brand. A lot of my clients
fall into the trap of thinking that they have to have everything perfect and ready to go and have to sort of have everything like ready to actually start taking transactions or start taking clients, when, you know, in reality, if you haven't warmed your audience and you haven't connected with them and got to know them, they're going to be much less likely to purchase from you when you do make an offer. So I think that sounds like it's been, you know, just, I think that's just something to point out, like, if to our listeners, if you are sort of in either of those camps, that, you know, to sometimes just to start connecting, even if you aren't exactly sure on the full vision yet, to start sort of putting your message out there is, you know, going to pay off in the long run. So I think, yeah, wonderful. So
well, I didn't even have a website, Rachel.
Yeah, exactly.
Client, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to have, and I'd still use it today, a Google Drive folder. Very simple, easy for everyone to access. And then I just have an account in Xero, and I emailed her an invoice.
Yes, it can be so easy. I think, like, when I started freelance design many moons ago, I probably won't even share how many, I was the same. I didn't have anything. All I had was an ABN, and you know, just through awareness and word of mouth, the word started to spread, and that's exactly, I used to create manual invoices in Word documents or something. Like, it was and I think that I started, like, I made up an invoice number to start from rather than Xero. So it didn't look like I was like such a newbie. You know, young 20 something. Oh, so funny. They wouldn't have even cared. That's a little anecdote for you. But yeah, it's just it. Yeah, exactly. And it, you know, as long as you've got some intentional thought behind it, I think that's the beautiful sort of way to dip your toe in, I guess. So now, juggling a full-time job still at the moment, and your clients and a membership and all that goes along with that, not just serving people, but the marketing. Like, marketing's a lot, like, it's a beast. Let's not lie about that. How do you stay on top of it? How do you, like, what strategies do you use for yourself? Like, you're such a good example.
For myself, I don't know if you can say it's cheating, but look, if there's a template or something I can buy, if I can give somebody some money to do something for me, then that's what I do.
Yeah.
I think whilst I have that corporate job there where I'm getting in that consistent income, I don't have those same stress levels as somebody in a business on their own, and that's your only source of income.
Yeah.
And I can afford to invest back in and make my life easier by getting some things done for me.
Yeah.
Things like, you know, social media ideas and planning out your marketing. In the membership, I show up live. I do live coaching, which I think you do too. Yeah. So I do that as well, because I like that rather than doing it's like doing a live where it's recorded. I like to have the interaction, like see the people and be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the membership, it takes a little bit of work, but the marketing side of it, I think once you have your members in, that part of it I find quite easy.
Yes.
It's just the awareness and attracting the right people to come and work with you.
I think that you'll find that's a very common feeling, that until you sort of really nail your marketing and you've got it like, you know, working like a well-oiled machine, which sometimes can take a lot of time and patience and resilience and you know, just even the ability to put yourself out there a little bit and try new things and be open to being rubbish at them. You can never know until you try, and then all of a sudden it's that one thing that you sort of hone into. And I totally agree. Like, the pleasure is in the working with people, and the reward is in seeing that transformation. yeah, even I myself can relate to that. But you know, fortunately or unfortunately, marketing, like, you can't actually do anything without it.
No.
So thank you for sharing that so honestly. I think that, yeah, a lot of people will be nodding along about that.
Mm.
So thank you. I would love to sort of hear any case studies or stories that you have from your work with women in the online entrepreneurial space,
Mm.
just to help understand how you support them in that way.
Yeah, so my most recent client is an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and it was the working in the business and having the kids and still trying to, mum of three, trying to find that time for
Mm.
herself. Had been through a little bit of personal trauma the year before we started working together, and had come to me and was basically, she was at breaking point. She was just almost ready to just collapse and
Mm.
suffered anxiety, all these things. So just being able to support her, like, so not how I explain it is, you go to a friend or a spouse or someone to talk to, and their first reaction is to come in with all the advice and tell you what you should do, thinking they're helping you.
Mm.
But what you really need is someone that's going to just hold space for you and allow you to talk, allow you to share, and then help you come up with your own solutions. So that's pretty much how I work as a coach. I hold that space, provide the guidance and support, because unless you come up with things that you know will work for you, because you know yourself better,
Mm.
nobody knows you as well as you know yourself. So you know what you can take on in your life and what you can fit in. So it's all about helping you uncover that
Mm.
and having that accountability to make sure you implement those steps to reach your goals. So having simple things like setting your own schedule, an appointment with yourself. So you had your mindful lunch today, which
I
is great.
did.
But even something like that, if you say, right, every day at, I don't know, 1 p.m., I'm going to sit outside for 10 minutes and eat my lunch, then that's something you would put, say, in your calendar or something as an appointment with yourself, and so you don't cancel it.
Mm.
So it's more about when you come up with the strategies, it's sticking to them, which is the hard part for a lot of people. So, most people know what they should be doing, but it's the actual doing of that is where people get stuck. And that's where, as a health coach, I'll work through that and be that accountability. So checking in, how you going? How'd you go with X? And then being able to coach through that if there is any struggles that come up.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that the way that you expressed that was just so calm. And you feel like your voice has just sort of lulled me into a like really calm and peaceful state.
I get that every time. I get that from people. I don't know if when I get into that health coach
Mm,
mindset, I change
it's
my
beautiful.
voice, and then they just like, oh, I feel so much better.
I do. I just like, yeah. So, okay. So let me just switch back on here. What are some of your favorite habits to, I guess, encourage women to
Mm,
harness if they may be feeling a little bit on the edge of burnout or exhausted from doing it all? I know that I've been chatting recently with some friends. Our children are now at that age where they're doing all the sport things
mm,
and they're at school. And when they were little, I was like, I can't wait for them to grow up because I'm so tired of being so busy. Ha 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 ha. I couldn't have been more wrong. It's just a different season and adapting to different seasons. So, like in that situation where maybe they've accidentally piled on too much, like,
mm,
and they're feeling the burden of that feeling, that feeling where you
yes,
feel trapped, like you can't, like, how am I going to get myself out of
yeah,
this? Do you have some habits that might help that person?
yes. Well, learning to set boundaries is a good
Mm,
thing to start with, and saying no with love as well.
mm,
Um, when we're stressed and overwhelmed, really the first thing to go out the window is our own health and wellness. Women, we put ourselves last. We're always looking after everyone else. Now, when you're in that situation, you're feeling like that, that is when you really need to be focusing on yourself and your needs. So just having 1 to 2 little things you can do every day is a bit of self-care. The mindful lunch. I saw an Instagram story earlier today sharing about putting lipstick on, like just putting on a bright lipstick. And that's the moment of self-care. It doesn't have to be big. I think people get so overwhelmed with when I say to them, I'll find a couple of things like, you know, self-care, and there's a lot of talk about self-care. It's such a buzzword. And people think, oh, self-care, oh, I've got to do yoga, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. You don't. You can do whatever you want that is going to give you a moment of joy or make you feel happy or help you slow down and just calm yourself for even 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
It's just so simple. Tackling tasks, so like a task management strategies, I like to approach it on no more than 3 big projects a day, and it doesn't have to be all work related. These can be things in your personal life as well. So just three projects a day, and you tackle the toughest one first. Now, if you get to the end of the day and you haven't done your third one, it doesn't matter. You can add that to the top of your list the next day. Deep breathing exercises, amazing. Like, I suffer with anxiety. So for me, if I feel I'm getting out of I'm about to go, I'm just going to stop and just close your eyes. And that's all it takes. So I just put my hands here, just like on my diaphragm, close my eyes, and I just breathe in and out, like in through my nose and out through my mouth.
Oh, I'm just finding myself doing that right now.
It just calms you down so much. And it's also very beneficial in your relationships if you're, you know, we all clash with people, or your spouse, they're right in your face all the time. But even just doing that, practicing something like just stopping for 10 seconds as well before you respond. It's just amazing how much like your response will change in that moment. And the main thing is just finding something you enjoy. So like even a hobby. I know a lot of people love little hobbies.
Yes.
My client actually looked for a hobby when we were working together and found dancing, because she always wanted to do it as a kid. So she's doing adult dancing.
Beautiful.
And she loves it.
Amazing.
Yeah. And and the other thing when I was saying earlier was whatever habit you choose to do for yourself, whether it's your mindful lunch or you wanted to do some deep breathing, say at the end of your day or at the start of your day to give you that calm approach when you get going. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be much. You just choose what makes you happy, brings you joy, and you just got to stick to it. That's the biggest thing.
That's the hardest thing, isn't it? Yeah, creating habits. So I've heard you talk about habit stacking before. Are you able to share a little bit about that and how it works?
Yes, that one's that's quite interesting, and it's quite easy when you get your head around it. And I do it myself. Yes, I do. I need to hold myself accountable to
Yeah. We're all human.
And it's something. So for example, if you like to take supplements or vitamins and you find, oh, I forgot to take it again today. Oh, damn it. And you're getting, hard on yourself. So what is the first thing you do of a morning when you get up? And if it's the vitamins you need to take, we'll put them right next to that. So if you get up first thing in the morning is you brush your teeth, we'll have them sitting there.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, right. And you remember to take them. That's pretty much habit stacking. Is when you add in something new, you just put it next to something you're already doing on autopilot every day. And the visual of that thing will remind you to do it. But that's habit stacking, but you can also do, say, post-it notes.
Oh, yeah.
I do
When
that a lot. I
yeah,
write
I
little,
like that. That's a good. I've never thought of doing
I
that
can
before.
stick it on my computer. Like, don't forget to do.
Yeah. Well, when I first learned about habit stacking, I like my kids were really little and I was finding it very difficult to get my exercise in and I was really missing it. Not that I'm not very sporty either. But I love a good like I've started running now, which is pretty cool. But I
So
used to love a
you're
big
running.
a brisk yeah. Yeah, it's not pretty, but
Oh, you're doing good. You're doing
it
really
gets the
good.
job done. But I do love a really long walk. Like that's something that really calms me down. And anyway, I decided that I just needed to do 10 minutes of yoga. And I used to, on the days that I would take my littlest ones to kindy, I would and then I would come home. The habit was to come home and make a coffee. So I wouldn't let myself have my coffee until I'd done my 10 minutes of yoga. And it made a really big difference because I was attaching that habit to the coffee, but the coffee was kind of the reward.
Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, I love habit stacking. I love that you've reminded me though, because I haven't really utilized it in a long time. And I think you're right, so useful. So in wrapping up, if you could offer just one golden tip to stay on top of your health and well-being, I know that that's a big ask. What would it be? What would your best advice be?
Oh, I would say love yourself as though you love your partner and your children. So treat yourself with the love that you show others.
That's so beautiful. And just, yeah, I love that. Thank you. So before I close our session, I have some rapid fire questions, which are just super fun. So I'm just going to say a word and I want to know what your favorite of that word is.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right, better be careful. I don't.
All right. What's your favorite app?
Instagram.
Time of day?
Mid-morning.
Oh, I'm interested to hear why.
I just because I think I've already done quite a lot. Getting up early, going to the gym. I've logged on for work, and I know it's coming close to lunchtime.
Yeah.
And get a break.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Favorite exercise?
Oh, favorite exercise. I like my weights.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I like training.
Okay. Your favorite habit?
My favorite habit is getting some time out on my own. Like even just going for a walk, like you said, go for a walk. So just getting away from everyone. And it's just me and my thoughts and nature and nothing else.
Yeah. All right. And finally, your favorite thing about your business?
Oh, my favorite thing about my business is watching women transform before my eyes and seeing them light up and happy and just loving life again.
Yeah. What a gift. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming and having a chat with me and sharing so much wisdom with our listeners. I can just see your business is blooming. Like it's it's in its infancy now, but I'm just so excited to see where it takes you and your journey, and I'm grateful to be a small part of it. Where can we find you? Where are you discoverable?
Oh, right. Well, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I also have a Pinterest and I have a website. Now, to make life easy, Flourish with Kaylie is the website and the Instagram and the Facebook.
Perfect. Awesome.
I had to get that name and to make sure I could have it across all three platforms before I registered the business and got the website done.
Very savvy.
Doing all that.
You're already considering brand consistency before you're considering brand consistency. Well done. Thank you so much, Kaylie.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.